Greetings. Today we continue part 3 of the preservation of the saved from 2 Peter 2 verses 5 through 9. The psalmist David of old, who reigned as king of Jerusalem, of Israel in Jerusalem, not only understood the offer that Jesus was making in Matthew 23:37, but he had actually taken him upon that offer as you read the first 4 verses of Psalm 61. Where it says, to the chief musician upon Negana, that's a song with a stringed accompaniment, a song of David. Hear my cry, O God, attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth I will cry unto thee. Now God promised never to leave us nor forsake us, but sometimes we leave him, and it seems like he's on the other end of the earth from us. And David said, even at that time, I will cry unto thee when my heart is overwhelmed. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For thou hast been a shelter for me and a strong tower from the enemy. I will abide in thy tabernacle, in thy dwelling place forever. Listen, I will trust in the covert. I will trust in the covering of thy wings. The very thing Jesus said he wanted to do, and they were not willing to do. Hebrews 11:7 declares, by faith Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, that means reverential trust which produces obedience, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. Noah was being called by God to secure a place of preservation against his coming judgment. Noah obeyed, and while the rest of the entire human race perished, these 8 in the ark were safely kept by God. 2 Peter 2:6 says, and having turned the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, by means of an overthrow, he condemned in judgment, having made and continuing to make them an example to those being about to be living ungodly. He delivered just Lot, a justified, righteous one, being vexed, harassed by agency of the filthy conversation, the immoral behavior, the licentious manner of life of the wicked ones. For the same righteous men dwelling among them vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. So let's consider the example of Lot's rescue. God rescued Lot from being destroyed with the wicked souls in Sodom and Gomorrah. The word delivered, Strong's 4506, at the very least means to rescue from danger. Lot was in jeopardy by dwelling among the wicked men of Sodom. God rescued him so he would not suffer the fate of the wicked ones. Someone has suggested that the meaning of the word goes much deeper, not only just rescuing, but drawing one to oneself. Lot had been adversely affected by what he was seeing and hearing in Sodom. And as God rescued Lot, he did keep him from danger, but he was also drawing him closer to himself. As we continue to read, we see that Lot did not stay closer to God, but he was drawn closer at this particular point in time. There's no way Lot could be considered anything but an unfaithful and backslidden man at this point in his life. But let's consider the implication of these examples in relation to our present dilemma. The prophetic promise of God's preservation prior to destruction. Verse 9 says, the Lord has known how to be delivering or rescuing the godly ones out of temptations himself, and to be reserving the unrighteous to their day of judgment. I would remind you in the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and 3, we find the messages to the 7 churches. In chapter 3 and verse 10, we find he says, but because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Jesus promised to return and receive all those who have believed in him. Now, granted, there are many, many differing opinions about the timing of these end-time events. However, I believe there is a consensus that these events will in fact occur.